Welcome back. Some sports news in time for an NDTV exclusive. The West Indian legend Sir Vivian Richards spoke to us about the Indian team's recent woes against Spain and how the team would do well to use the DRS system. He also backed Virat Kohli's aggression.
Now, no list in international cricket of the best batsmen of all time can ever be complete without the name Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards on it. The man who redefined classy power play batting. The one and only Sir Vivian Richards joins us today. Sir Viv, thanks so much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure having you here. And welcome back to India.
Thank you so much. Again. It's a pleasure for me also.
The Indian cricket team currently suffered what was a shock defeat really to Sri Lanka after dominating 2.5 days of that 4-day test match in Galle, and then the Lankans came back strongly and won that test. Do you see India bouncing back hard and perhaps going on to win their first test series in Sri Lanka in 22 years? Is that possible?
This is all part of the sport, and it goes to show you that you've got to make sure that you see out the full 5 days. It isn't about maybe 3 days and how much success you would have had within those days itself, but throughout the match itself, it does suggest that there's a few things wanting. And one of the things that surprised me with 170 odd runs to get in the last innings, and knowing, and I have, in some degree, I can give evidence to the facts, knowing that India and the Indian batsmen are some of the best players of spin bowling. They were certainly found wanting in that particular last innings, and
was that surprising for you?
It must. Yeah, it did surprise me because I felt, even though it looked a modest total, it looked pretty hard in terms of the way in which they finished in the end.
Personally, which school of captaincy do you prefer more? Because Virat is the more outspoken, more aggressive captain on the field. Dhoni was much more calm and subdued and cool. Which style would you personally more prefer?
You can never forget maybe Dhoni's success. I felt Dhoni would have come a long way in the way in which he would have handled his team, and everyone's got their own style. And Virat, from what I would have seen from the other side of the fence, he has this passion for aggression, and nothing's wrong with that. I guess what I think was quite important and vital to the Indian cause in Australia is a pity that the Indian team didn't back him the way he batted, because I think he copped a lot. He copped a lot in terms of the verbal abuse and things like that you get every now and again that you compete. And for the way in which he came out towards the end, I felt he came out smelling sweet, because he allowed his bat to do the talking, and it's just a pity that India didn't quite respond to the way he batted. But I've always liked his style. I've always felt that there's nothing wrong with aggression, and especially when you have guys, you know, who are coming at you on a regular basis with all this verbal stuff. Why not give it back if you have the package? And when I say the package, I mean the cricketing package.
What's your take, Sir Viv, on the DRS, or the decision review system? India is the only cricketing nation which hasn't embraced it yet. Do you think the BCCI should perhaps change their stance on it?
Well, I tell you something. If it was in play and you guys basically would have endorsed it in Galle, I guess you would have won that match.
Let's talk about the West Indian tour pullout of 2014. How much would you say that hurt relationships between Indian and West Indian cricket, or did it hurt it at all?
I was hurt. I felt pretty ashamed. I felt for all the guys, you know, who would have helped West Indies cricket to have bring it to such prominence. They were also hurt. There was a lot of guys who felt ashamed, but I'm just hoping that, and I'm making this particular plea now, to all the folks who may matter where Indian cricket is concerned, and for the decision that was made by some individuals who I felt just wasn't thinking as straight as they should, that please forgive us. Please forgive us. You know, we are much better than that, and I'm just hoping that we would have learned our lessons and have a fair idea how much people we would have hurt also in the process.
All right, one final question, Sir Viv, and I have to talk about this, and this is something I'm sure will bring a good smile to your face.
Wow.
This video that you've done called Smoking Joe with John Ferris.
Here comes Vin, don't you know? Smack that bat, watch him go.
That's cool.
Hear that crowd, hear them roar, hear that sound, watch him score.
I love that sound.
How exciting was it shooting for it? And how exciting was it for you to see the final product?
We just did it for some fun, and he's got this magnificent studio where he lives in Sydney.
Yeah.
Went into the studio, and it's amazing the effect that you get inside the studio. I can imagine how these artists and all these folks would have felt that what was bouncing off the studio wall, I started to enjoy. What you would have heard, that's the finished product, and in a sense, I'm a little bit over myself in a sense, the way I felt about it, you know. I said, wow, okay, you sound rather cool, Viv. Like a rocket ship. My name is Isaac, Vivian Alexander Richards, little things like that. I was proud in a sense, as I said, what studios can do for you. And I was quite pleased with the results in the end.